Here are the top 5 things in a poll of Christians, people who go to church and say, these are the things I want my pastor, my priest, my rabbi to speak about. These are the things I need to know because the world is on fire. These were not generated by the pollster. These were generated by the people. They narrowed a very long list down to, 150, and then asked people, a large sample size, rank these in order. Number 5, sexual identity, same-sex marriage, transgenderism, marriage, LGBT. How many of our churches said nothing that week that it happened? And if they did say something that week, they were off it the week after that. Number 4, cultural restoration, appropriate morals, law and order, defensible values and norms, and self-government. They're begging the churches. 83% of churchgoers are saying, please tell us. Number 3, poverty, the personal duty, the government's role, the church role, homelessness, hunger, and dependency, 85%. Number 2, religious persecution, personal liberty, personal duty, government duty, church response, global conditions. So this is ISIS. These are the Christians. This is Kim Davis standing up, who, by the way, David, you have to, before you leave, you have to give us an update because they're trying to put her back. Do you know they're trying to put her back in jail again?
No, are they really?
Yeah, they're trying to put her back in jail. So number 2 is, how do I stand up? How do I stand up? When do I stand up? When do I know I'm right? And number 1, you'd never guess this in a million years, because it's the one thing that everybody says you're not supposed to talk about. Number 1, 91% say it is critical. Abortion. Abortion, the beginning of life, the right to life, contraception, adoption, and unwed mothers. What does this tell you, George? How long you've been doing? You've talked to over 1 million people in your pollster history. Tell me how shocking this poll is in comparison to anything that you've seen, and what does it tell you?
This is huge, because essentially what they're saying is we need to redesign the church. We've created an organization or an industry that goes along a certain set of tracks that we've built, and basically what's happening here is the people are saying it's not working. It's not meeting the real needs that I have. Sure, maybe we're filling some seats, but Jesus didn't die to fill seats. And so when you look at this whole range of things that they're talking about, they're saying, would you please help me make my faith real? I compare it back to stories of the great Bible heroes. I know some of the key phrases that get used, but you're not helping me to live like Jesus. See, the issue here is if you asked all of these people, what would Jesus' answer be to issues related to sexual identity, to Islam, to cultural restoration? They'd say, gosh, I don't know.
And they're getting, this isn't surprising to me, because these are the issues that people get beat up with every day.
Every day.
These are the issues that
Every
they
day.
go out and they're told they're evil because they believe these things. And so they want the ammunition from the church to combat all that.
And David, speak to that. They want the ammunition. Why do conservatives not speak up? Maybe, George, you're the one that told me this.
Well, we can all talk to it, because we know what's going on here. But essentially what we found is that when we talked with people and looked at their ideology, we looked at whether they're conservative, moderate, liberal, whatever, we found that conservatives are the people least likely to talk about the issues of the day. And then when we tried to figure out why that was...
Don't say. Why do you think that is, Pat? Stu, why do you think that is? Jeffy, anything?
They're worried about being called a hater.
Okay, yeah. That's what I would have gone with.
Yep, that's what I would have thought too.
Okay, here's the answer.
No, it's because they don't know what to say.
They don't feel they know. They don't feel they know the answer.
They're not equipped to get into debate. When somebody comes at them aggressively, they don't know how to respond back.
On abortion, they don't know what to say.
Generally speaking,
number one reason they don't speak up
because our churches and our leaders are failing at the pulpit. That is the point where you say, "This is what's going on. This is what God says. This is what we do and believe as a people, and we're not doing those things." Instead, the pastors just leave that out. And let me tell you what was happening in Corinth. What's happening today? What's happening today? If you can tell me what was happening, why he wrote the letter to the Corinthians, and then you can show it to me and say, see, look, it's just like today. So what was the answer he had then? Here's the answer that you have to have now. Our churches aren't doing that because our churches are afraid, or possibly something else. And we'll get into that when we come back.